The barren moon called Helion 3 had never held any importance to humans. It was a cold rock drifting quietly near the edge of the solar system. A place without atmosphere, without minerals worth mining, and without any reason for a human ship to stop there. But space has a habit of hiding secrets, and sometimes the most uninteresting places hold the most dangerous ones. For the Vylari Empire, Helion 3 was a graveyard for failed technology. Hundreds of years ago, they had buried a damaged warp core prototype beneath its rocky surface and erased all records of it, believing it too unstable and too flawed to ever be useful. The Vylari engineers of that age were proud and confident. They believed no primitive species would ever find the device, and even if someone did, no lesser mind could understand it. They were wrong. The Prospector Dawn was a small human salvage ship, old but reliable, drifting through the outer regions of the solar system. Its crew of 8 humans had grown used to disappointment. They scanned old satellites, broken cargo pods, and ancient probes hoping to find something valuable: metals, data, anything they could sell. On an otherwise routine day, the ship's sensors picked up something strange. "Captain, I'm getting energy readings from Helion 3, said Lena, the ship's sensor operator. Her voice was calm, but everyone on the bridge looked up instantly. Energy readings meant one thing: technology. Captain Rourke leaned forward in his chair. "Human tech?" "No," Lena replied. "At least, I don't think so. The signature doesn't match any human engine or reactor. And it's faint. Like something very old." The bridge grew quiet. Humanity had only been exploring space seriously for the last 100 years. Humans had never detected alien life, not yet. But every captain dreamed of being the first to bring back proof. "Take us in," Rourke ordered. The Prospector Dawn descended toward Helion 3, its landing gear kicking up fine gray dust as it touched down. The crew suited up and stepped onto the moon's surface, their boots leaving fresh footprints in the untouched terrain. Lena pointed toward a ridge. "The reading is coming from below that formation, about 30 meters underground." "How do we dig through that?" asked Jax, the ship's mechanic. Rourke smiled and tapped the drill module strapped to their rover. "The old-fashioned way." They spent hours drilling into the moon's crust. The work was slow, and the moon remained silent around them. But eventually, something metallic emerged from the broken rock. At first, they all fell silent. It didn't look like any human machine. The shape was smooth, almost organic, with glowing lines running across it like veins. The object hummed faintly as if it were alive. "What is that?" whispered Jax. Lena stepped closer. "It looks like a reactor of some kind, but nothing human. Nothing even close." Rourke approached the device and placed his gloved hand on the surface. "We just found the most important thing in human history," he said quietly. "Get it loaded. We're taking it back." Back on Earth, the United Terran Research Facility buzzed with excitement the moment the Prospector Dawn announced its discovery. Scientists gathered in the main hangar as the salvage crew unloaded the strange machine. Dr. Sienna Hayes, one of Earth's leading physicists, stared at the object with wide eyes. "This is beyond anything we've developed. Look at the structure. Look at the energy mapping. It's alien. It has to be alien." The other researchers whispered among themselves. Alien. The word felt unreal. Rourke folded his arms. "We found it half buried on Helion 3. It's old. Maybe centuries. And it still had power." Sienna nodded slowly. "Then, this is a treasure. The first piece of alien engineering ever found." "How long until we know what it is?" Rourke asked. Sienna smiled an excited, almost childlike smile. "We start now." For the next weeks, the research teams worked day and night. The alien device was enormous, almost 5 meters long, and covered in plates that resisted every human tool. Its internal energy pulses followed a rhythm no scientist understood. Its alloy wasn't made from any metal found in the solar system. But humans had a talent the Vylari had forgotten: curiosity. Where alien empires followed tradition and strict rules, humans experimented, broke barriers, and questioned everything. And that mindset turned out to be exactly what the alien machine needed. Dr. Sienna's team began by mapping the energy pulses. They discovered the pulses weren't random, they were repeating, like a heartbeat. Underneath the machine's structure, they detected layers of quantum stabilizers and distortions in spacetime. Warp mechanics, Sienna whispered one late night. This has to be a warp engine. Her assistant, Arun, blinked. Warp? As in faster than light travel? That would rewrite physics. That would change everything. It would, Sienna said, and I think this machine was meant to do exactly that. They presented their findings to the Earth Science Council. When Sienna explained that humans might be able to activate the device, the council was stunned. Many wanted to slow down, fearing the risks. But the human spirit is hard to control, especially when the unknown is within reach. Testing began under strict containment fields. The alien engine flickered with life when connected to human power systems, though the pulses were unstable. Data screens around it lit up with incomprehensible symbols, but the patterns remained consistent, meaning they could be learned. Engineers argued, mathematicians corrected formulas, quantum researchers scribbled theories across entire walls of the lab. Every day was a step closer to understanding something no alien empire ever intended humans to see, and slowly, the device opened itself to them. One night, after a long day of failed tests, Sienna remained in the lab alone. She leaned over the machine, studying the energy nodes. Something about the design kept bothering her. It felt wrong, not in a dangerous way, but in an incomplete way. Suddenly it clicked. This isn't a complete design, she whispered. It's a prototype. A broken one. Once she realized that, everything made sense. The unstable pulses, the strange energy leaks, the uneven distribution of quantum layers. The engine was never meant to function properly, not in its current form. But humans didn't give up on broken things. By morning, Sienna presented her theory to the team, and the reaction spread like wildfire. The researchers' excitement turned into new ideas and creative solutions. They began repairing the machine not according to alien standards, but according to human logic. They rerouted energy chambers, reinforced quantum stabilizers, and corrected a flawed sequence in the warp algorithm. Piece by piece, the engine transformed from a broken alien relic into something new, something part alien, part human. It's taking shape, Arun said proudly. We're fixing something advanced enough to burn planets. We're not fixing it, Sienna corrected softly. We're improving it. News of the progress leaked out. Scientists across Earth began sending theories and support. Engineers sent upgraded tools. Even governments, usually slow to collaborate, shared their resources. Humanity united around the alien machine in a way no one had expected. It became the greatest scientific project in human history. Finally, after countless tests and failures, the moment arrived. The team gathered in the observation chamber. Beyond the transparent barrier, the alien warp engine sat humming gently under a web of cables and scanners. Sienna breathed in deeply. Begin activation. Arun typed the final sequence. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the machine came alive. Blue light surged through its veins. The hum turned into a steady rhythm. A magnetic field formed around it, warping the air. Space itself seemed to bend. The readings on the console spiked, but not dangerously. Perfectly. It's stable, Sienna whispered in disbelief. It's actually stable. The room erupted into cheers. People hugged, laughed, cried. Humanity had just activated the first warp engine in its history, something alien creators had never achieved. But as the machine's pulse echoed across space, a faint ripple spread through the cosmos. A ripple the Vailari Empire detected instantly. Far across the galaxy, alarm lights flashed in a grand control hall. Vailari technicians panicked as they saw the readings. Impossible, one gasped. That signature belongs to the old prototype. But the pulse is stable. The High Council gathered, confusion and fear mixing in their voices. Who activated it? Asked Elder Virine. No species knows how. No species should know. End quote. A young officer brought up a star map. The signal. Originates from the human system. Silence fell. Elder Viren's voice shook. Humans? But they are primitives. They should not even understand the device's shell. Another council member spoke softly. Then how did they activate it? No one had an answer. But everyone understood one thing clearly. The humans had done something impossible, and the galaxy would never be the same. The activation of the alien warp engine on Earth sent subtle ripples across space, almost like the soft vibrations of a bell. At first, humanity didn't notice. The machine hummed quietly in its containment chamber, pulsing steadily as engineers monitored energy flows and quantum stabilizers. For humans, it was a miracle, proof that curiosity and ingenuity could turn the impossible into reality. But not everyone was celebrating. Light years away, the Vialari Empire trembled. In the High Council Hall, monitors lit up with the unmistakable signature of their lost prototype. Only this time, it was stable. Their ancient engineers had never achieved this, and yet, here it was, beating perfectly in the hands of primitive humans. Elder Viren's eyes narrowed as he studied the readings. The humans. They have completed the core. How? A younger officer, trembling, spoke. It is not only complete, it has been improved. The pulse pattern is stronger, more efficient, faster. It surpasses the Vialari specifications by decades. Marling. 4. Marling. Marling spatter. It Marling spass. Marling spatter. Marling spatter. Marling spatter. Arling spatter. The council erupted into whispers. Some elders demanded immediate action, while others froze in disbelief. Humanity, long considered insignificant, had crossed a line the Valari believed unbreachable. This cannot be allowed, Viren finally said. We must intervene. Send a retrieval team immediately. Quietly. Do not alert the humans. Take the device or destroy it if necessary. Meanwhile, back on Earth, human engineers continued their work. The alien engine had become more than a relic. It was a challenge. They weren't content with just activating it. They wanted to understand it, improve it, and make it usable for humans. Dr. Sienna Hayes walked through the lab late at night, observing her team. Engineers adjusted energy conduits, physicists refined warp algorithms, and mathematicians scribbled notes covering entire walls. Every mistake was a lesson. Every failure brought new ideas. Arun, the assistant engineer, smiled as he connected a new module to the reactor. We're not just repairing it. We're making it better. Faster. Stronger. Sienna nodded. The Vialari thought no species could understand this. But we're not just a species, we're humans. The simplicity of that statement carried weight. Humans had always thrived where others relied on tradition. The alien design relied on perfection. Humans relied on curiosity, and it was curiosity that allowed them to do what even the Valari had failed to achieve. On Helion 3, Vialari reconnaissance ships approached the solar system quietly, avoiding detection. A small fleet of sleek vessels, designed for speed and stealth, entered orbit around Earth. Their mission was clear. Observe the humans. Understand the threat. And if necessary, retrieve or destroy the device. Commander Talren, the fleet leader, stared at Earth from the cockpit of his ship. It is improbable, he muttered. Primitives, capable of activating our technology? His second-in-command, Vela, frowned. They have done more than activate it, Commander. Their improvements, they could destabilize entire regions of space. We cannot wait. Talren exhaled. Then we must move carefully. Let's see what they do next before we make our move. They are clever, but reckless. And reckless minds can be dangerous to themselves. Back on Earth, humans had begun experimenting with the warp engine's applications. The device itself remained stationary in the lab, but tests involved smaller energy modules, creating miniature warp fields, and studying how space bent around the quantum stabilizers. It was exhilarating and dangerous. One afternoon, a minor accident shook the facility. A small energy surge caused a lab drone to vanish, leaving a ripple in the air that defied explanation. Scientists cheered. The ripple wasn't destructive, it proved that the human-modified warp technology could bend space locally. They were beginning to see the first signs of practical faster-than-light travel. Sienna watched the ripple with wide eyes. "We're not just understanding their technology," she said. "We're improving it. We're rewriting it." Arun laughed. "If the Valari ever find out, they'll think the world is ending." Sienna's smile was tense. She knew the joke was true. They were moving faster than any alien empire had ever imagined. Humans were proving that curiosity, experimentation, and teamwork could achieve what millennia of experience could not. The Valari fleet observed silently from orbit. Their sensors had confirmed human experiments were progressing rapidly. Talrin reported back to the High Council. "They are advancing faster than we anticipated. They have corrected design flaws in the prototype. Our experts did not foresee this speed. They are dangerous." Elder Viren's voice was cold over the comm link. "Dangerous? They are more than dangerous. They are a variable we cannot control. Proceed with caution, Talrin. But do not underestimate them. If they continue at this pace, humans may surpass our empire in less than a decade." Talrin bowed. "Understood, Elder." But even as he spoke, he feared the truth. Humans were unpredictable, creative, and fearless. They would not follow Valari rules. They would make their own. On Earth, the human team made their first major breakthrough. They had managed to stabilize a small warp bubble in a controlled environment, allowing a test drone to move a short distance through space instantly. It was a tiny step, but it proved the principles worked. Excitement spread through the lab. News of the breakthrough was broadcast to allied human colonies across the solar system. For the first time, humanity could glimpse a future where interstellar travel was possible. But the breakthrough came with consequences. The ripple from the warp bubble was detected far away. A faint signature traveling at faster than light speeds. Somewhere in the Valari Empire, alarms blared. Talrin's fleet acted. A Valari scout ship approached Earth's orbit, cloaked and silent. Its sensors scanned the planet, focusing on the research facility. What they saw was astounding. Humans working tirelessly, improving technology the Valari believed impossible. Vela turned to Talrin. "They are not following patterns. They are learning and changing the engine. Faster than anyone in the Empire could have imagined." Talrin clenched his hands. "We underestimated them. We assumed primitives would fail. We assumed they would break themselves. But they are beyond our expectations." Vela's eyes widened. "Commander, what do we do?" Talrin stared at Earth. "We wait, but we prepare. They will become a force no empire can ignore." Back in the lab, humans were already pushing forward. They had begun designing a human-built warp vessel, incorporating the alien engine, but optimized with human engineering. Plans were drawn, simulations run, and components manufactured. Sienna stood with Arun, looking at the schematics. "It's incredible," she said. "We are about to build something that no human or alien has ever flown. Faster, stronger, better." Arun grinned. "They'll call it reckless. I call it progress." The human spirit thrived on challenges, and this was the greatest challenge they had ever faced. The Valari Council grew desperate. Meetings were held, reports reviewed, and spies sent to Earth. Every data packet, every energy ripple, every breakthrough was monitored. Elder Viren's voice carried a rare note of fear. "If humans continue like this, they will surpass the galaxy's greatest empires before we can act. We must decide. Do we destroy them or attempt diplomacy?" Silence followed. No one wanted to underestimate humans. No one wanted to admit the truth. They were clever, unpredictable, and unafraid. The decision would come soon. Meanwhile, humans worked tirelessly. The alien engine was no longer just a relic. It was a symbol of human ingenuity, determination, and collaboration. Every small success fueled the next. Every failure taught lessons faster than the Violari engineers had learned in centuries. And somewhere, beyond Earth, a small fleet of Valari ships watched, fearful of what was to come. The humans did not yet know they were being observed. They did not know the galaxy had taken notice. All they knew was the joy of creation, the thrill of discovery, and the undeniable feeling that they were about to do the impossible. The human-built warp vessel, designated H1, stood in the Earth Research Facility's orbital dock, gleaming beneath the sun's light. It was a testament to human ingenuity, part alien design, part human innovation. Its engines were a hybrid of the Valari prototype and human engineering, stabilized and optimized in ways no alien mind had conceived. Dr. Sienna Hayes stood on the observation platform, her arms crossed, watching the final preparations. Engineers scurried like ants, running final checks, monitoring energy flows, and securing the containment fields around the warp engine. Arun, her assistant, leaned against the railing, grinning ear to ear. "We did it," he said simply. Sienna shook her head, smiling. "We didn't just do it. We built something the galaxy wasn't ready for." The vessel's activation panel lit up, humming with power. The blue glow of the warp core pulsed steadily, ready for its first trial. For humans, this was more than technology. It was freedom, curiosity, and daring, all wrapped into one machine. Across the galaxy, the Valari Empire's alarms blared. Elder Viren's voice rang through the command chamber. "They are building a full-scale warp vessel," he said. "They have surpassed the prototype." "This is unprecedented. Impossible," one council member whispered. "No species could develop a warp engine so quickly, especially primitives." Tolrin, commander of the Valari scouting fleet, stared at the readings from Earth. "They have exceeded expectations. If they complete it, they will outpace the entire Empire. We must act now." Viren shook his head. "No. We wait a little longer. Observe. Humans are unpredictable. If we intervene too soon, they will see it as aggression." But observation alone was terrifying. Humanity was about to leap into the stars with a technology the Valari themselves could barely control. On Earth, the launch team prepared H1 for its first trial. The plan was simple. Enter a small warp bubble and return within minutes. The test drone had shown the engine could bend space locally, but this was the first full-scale human attempt. Sienna entered the command module alongside Captain Rourke and a small crew. Arun joined as lead engineer, monitoring the warp systems. The air in the cabin was tense. Every human on board knew the risks. One miscalculation, one unstable pulse, and the vessel or the crew could vanish forever. Rourke looked at Sienna. "Are you sure it's stable?" Sienna nodded. "We've run every simulation. The core is stable. But this is more than theory. This is real. And it's human." The countdown began. 10, 9, 8. Systems hummed, lights pulsed, energy flowed into the core. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The warp engine activated. The stars outside the viewport stretched into lines, then blurred into streaks. The ship shivered as space itself seemed to fold around them. A ripple of energy rolled across the dock and out into orbit. "Captain," Arun said, voice trembling with excitement. "We're in warp. And it's stable." They had done it. Humans had created the first fully functional warp ship in recorded history. Back in the Valari command chamber, sensors detected the ship's movement instantly. Energy spikes, warp signatures, readings beyond comprehension, all pointing to a single fact. Humanity had taken the impossible and made it real. Viren's hands shook. "They've done it. They've activated a full-scale warp engine. Alert the fleets. Every empire must know. Humanity is no longer primitive." Tolrin, watching the screens silently, muttered, They move faster than we ever predicted, faster than we can respond. For the first time, a human species, not one of the great alien civilizations, was rewriting the rules of the galaxy. H1 completed its first jump successfully. The vessel had warped 10 star systems away in what should have been years of travel. Sensors and telemetry showed no damage. The crew returned, exhilarated, voices shaking with adrenaline and pride. Sienna exhaled, staring at the readouts. "We've done it. Humans are now a galactic species." Rourke grinned. "And the galaxy isn't ready for us." Indeed, the galaxy was watching. Alien civilizations that had long considered humanity insignificant scrambled to understand what had happened. Spy drones, encrypted signals, and observation fleets all tried to measure human capabilities. Every empire had underestimated humans, and every empire was now recalculating. The Volari Council convened an emergency session. Elder Virine paced before the assembly. "Humans have crossed a line we never thought possible. They have not only understood our prototype, they have improved it, stabilized it, and deployed it in a ship capable of interstellar travel faster than our fastest vessels." Another council member asked nervously, "What do we do? Can we stop them?" Virine shook his head. "Stop them? No. They are too clever, too inventive. Our fleets cannot predict their next move. We cannot dominate them. We must respect them." It was an uncomfortable admission, one the Volari had never made to anyone. Meanwhile, humanity prepared for the next stage. H1 was ready for longer jumps, tests of speed, and exploration beyond the solar system. The human message to the galaxy was simple: "We did not steal your future. We just built ours faster." Sienna and Rourke discussed the mission plans. "We need to show them what humans can do," Rourke said. "Yes," Sienna agreed. "But we must remain peaceful. We are proving our strength, not threatening anyone." The crew nodded. Humans had learned the value of power, but also of wisdom. The demonstration came 3 months later. The galaxy watched live as H1 activated its warp engines in orbit above Earth. Sensors picked up energy waves across dozens of star systems. Then the ship leapt, traveling farther in minutes than many empires could travel in decades. When H1 returned, humans sent a live broadcast. The crew appeared on screens across multiple colonies and observation points. Captain Rourke spoke clearly. "We are humans. We have rebuilt alien technology faster than any empire. We have proven our ingenuity, our courage, and our determination. We are here to explore, to learn, and to grow. The galaxy will know humanity not as primitives, not as subjects, but as equals." The message spread like wildfire. Galaxies that had dismissed humanity as insignificant suddenly realized that humans were a force unlike any other. In the Vylari Empire, reactions were mixed. Young scientists marveled at the human ingenuity, while elders debated the threat. Trade councils, military strategists, and political leaders scrambled to understand how a species they had underestimated could suddenly dominate technology they themselves had invented. Tolrin reported quietly to Elder Virine. "They are not reckless. They are not aggressive. They are clever, creative, and disciplined. They will challenge anyone who underestimates them, but they do not seek unnecessary war." Virine nodded slowly. "Then we have a choice. We can either destroy them and risk uniting the galaxy against us, or we can accept them, learn from them, and form an alliance." The council murmured. A new understanding was dawning. Humanity had rewritten the rules, and now even the Volari had to adapt. On Earth, humanity celebrated quietly. Scientists, engineers, and explorers, every person who had contributed knew they had changed history. They had taken alien technology, understood it, improved it, and made it a human achievement. Sienna watched the night sky from the observation deck. Stars stretched endlessly, each one a potential new home, a new frontier. "We did it," she whispered. "We're no longer limited to this planet. We are the galaxy's future." Arun joined her. And we'll keep moving forward. Faster than anyone expects, smarter than anyone fears. That's what it means to be human, Sienna smiled. Yes, that's humanity. The galaxy, once dismissive of Earth and its people, now had no choice but to take notice. Trade routes would shift, alliances would change, and old empires would scramble to keep pace with humans. But humans were not reckless conquerors, they were explorers, creators, and innovators. The Valari, realizing the mistake of underestimating humanity, offered an unprecedented proposal. Membership in the Galactic Assembly. Not as students, but as equals. Other empires watched and considered the same, and as the stars stretched endlessly before them, humans prepared for the next journey, ready to explore, ready to challenge, and ready to prove that curiosity, courage, and ingenuity could change the course of the universe. The galaxy had once hidden warp technology from humans out of fear. Now humanity had taken it, rebuilt it, and leapt forward, and the galaxy would never be the same again.